So the financing side, I'm really actually interested to unpack a little bit more about that. But as far as finding the site, the very beginning, how did that come about? Did you talk to an agent? Did you guys do it off market yourselves?
Yeah.
What was the process there?
Yeah, this particular deal, we're in Sydney at the time. And funny story I'll share with you all is that Jason had a sporting accident and he'd broken his legs. So he was going to be in a hospital bed for 6 months. And he couldn't do his day job. He was, he had a filming sports, driving all around Australia. He couldn't do that anymore. So he had no income. So I said, all right, well, let's put some of this property learning skills that we had in place. Here's a computer. Let's start doing research and due diligence on different areas around Australia. And let's look for a small, simple property strategy deal that we could do and get someone else to fund it, right? Let's try and replace our income. Do it from a hospital bed. He had all this time. He wasn't driving around Australia filming rugby or sports or anything like that anymore. I was still working full-time myself, but was doing this on the side to help build that momentum in property. We really wanted to get into property, and this deal we found through a lot of research online. We use, suburb statistics. We looked at council websites. We looked at some of other people's developments, and we said, okay, well, this particular area in Brisbane looked like there was a lot of subdivisions going on. And we love metropolitan city, being from Sydney originally. So we knew that if there's a demand for the property, demand for living there. So if you're close to CBD, this particular close 5 to 10 minutes from the train station, it was close to schools, bus stops. You had a little small corporate centre close by with like Canon, Oracle, some of the big tech companies there. So you got a lot of employment. We could see that a lot of the blocks in Brisbane, everything's really nicely kind of rectangular shape measured. Yep. It's like you're either 400 square meter block or 800 square meter block.
Yep.
Right? Minimum is 400 square meters in this particular area. And we knew that this one we found was 800 square meters. We could chop it up and turn it into 2 blocks. And it still had a house on one side, which we could keep. Then we talked to agents in there and said, okay, well, we know old houses sell for about 450,000 to 600,000.
On a 400 or an 800?
On a 400 square meter block.
Okay, all right.
Depending on, if it's old, semi-renovated, fully renovated. So there's a bit of range there. And we knew new houses on 400 square meter blocks sold for 800 to 900,000.
What kind of a JV was this? How did it work? How did you find them? Can we unpack a little bit more on that side?
So we'd only done probably another small deal before this particular one with our own money. That was a country deal. We had bought a block of land for, I won't go into too much detail, but we bought a block of land for 80,000. The country subdivided that and then created that uplift and made 70,000 profit, right?
Awesome.
So that was the country deal. And then the next deal we said, okay, we're a little bit of profits, but we couldn't afford to buy this Brisbane deal ourselves. So we said, okay, we've got a little bit of knowledge. We know that the numbers, there's some profit there. We've done some due diligence on it. So we said, okay, well, let's put it out to some people we know who had money, some investors. And we thought, okay, well, we put in an email, we did an information memorandum, which is like a business plan for a property deal, some statistics on the suburbs, some of the figures, some of the research finding what properties and land sell for in the area. So it was really professional, the very first IM that I did. And we put it out to 10 people on an email and they all came back and said, yeah, it looks really interesting. So we actually went with the first person who came back and said we're interested, and they had money but no time, and they want to make some profit and learn about the process as well.
Okay.
So that was our very first joint venture.
And so where did you said you sent that out to 10 people. This is from networking that you've done over months, years, that kind of thing? Or
it was networking through different property communities, some of our family and friends as well. Generally anyone in your circle can be an investor.
And that's what I want to talk to you about as well, is around like the different kinds of strategies and exit plans and things like this. Like, what did your original FISO look like when you sat down and went, okay, we can buy it for X, we're gonna have to spend Y. Yep. Like, what's the nitty gritty numbers? Can we open them up?
Yeah. Let's have a look at it. We always look at worst case and best case scenario when we're doing our numbers, because our investor or money partner want to see that as well. So this particular one, we were looking to buy the house, secured it for $575,000. You've got some stamp duty and purchasing costs to go with that. The biggest cost would be the subdivision costs, right? You're going to have your council application fees, contributions, and then you're going to have your town planner reports, civil connections. So there's a bit of cost there. We've got some renovation costs as well.
With your with all of your town planner, stamp duty, all of that, what roughly does that come to?
Yeah, look, you're probably looking at about 50,000, 45 to 50,000 for subdivision costs. Okay. The existing house itself, we didn't have to move it. We could keep it on the left-hand side, and just a quick 3-4 week cosmetic renovation brought up the value. So we spent about 35,000 on the renovation cosmetic, and with that particular one, we were able to rent it out as well. So get $500 a week in rent whilst we're waiting for the subdivision process to happen.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And we had 2 young boys, well, not young, but they were like, 18, 19, rent the property because it was close to infrastructure. It was close to 5 24-hour gyms in that area at the time. Yeah. And I want to do renovation on the bathroom, right? Mm-hmm. So a little story I shared there was only one bathroom. We needed to change the bathtub, add a bit of tile there. I said, look, boys, we want to get in and spruce up the place a little bit. Yeah. Do you mind, if we get in there for a week and a half, we're just going to clean up the bathroom. We're happy to reduce the rent a little bit for you. And in the end, they said, oh yeah, that's fine. We can have showers at the gym. I said, oh, okay. So I think we reduced some of the rent for them, not too much. And we bought them slabs of beer and some food. I think we gave them some Woolies voucher or something. And they were so happy and ecstatic that they were getting all these freebies just by them giving us access to renovate the bathroom.
That is a good little takeaway there. And if you're listening to this right now, and to me, that just really reiterates that you don't ask, you don't get. And I mean, you must have felt a little bit cheeky asking that question, but at the end of the day, the worst case scenario is they turned around and went like, no, we want our bathroom. Best case scenario, hooray, you get to reno the bathroom. That's brilliant. I love that. So we're up to about 35K on a cosmetic reno. So we got about 575 buy-in. Subdivision was around that 45, 50 grand. Then we're looking at, 35 for the reno roughly? What else are we looking at?
Correct. We obviously have some of the purchasing costs, like you've got stamp duty, legal fees, bank fees, insurance, etc. So that's probably about, say, 25,000. Interest holding costs as well with the bank, because we did get a loan to buy the property. Yep. It's about 35,000 in interest in the project. So you're sitting at about total cost about 720,000. In the renovation part, I don't enjoy, to be honest, because it's more hands-on, even though I'm not there. But what I could see the potential was this subdivision, where I can make good money just from subdividing it and having a vacant block, which we could sell off. But in the end, that investor wanted to keep that land and build a new house on it. So in essence, that's what they did. So we decided to sell the old house that we renovated within, I think we did it in 6 weeks, the renovation. And the tenants left, so then we could sell it. And we sold that house for a pretty good price. We sold that for just under 600,000. We had the land that we knew was valued minimum 290,000.
Yep.
Right, up to 400,000 for a 400 square meter block in that area. Mm-hmm. And we were going to sell it. My investor said, look, actually, this is a great suburb. You know, there's good growth there. You're close to everything. It goes back to why we bought that particular property in the first place.
How did you end up determining the value then? Did you just all come to an agreement? Did you get a valuer? Like, how did you go about that? So
what we did was we actually got 3 valuations on the block of land to see what it was worth. And we got paid out and so our share.
You mean like actual licensed valuers or appraisals from agents? Or?
No, we actually get market agents appraisal.
Okay.
So 3 market agents appraisal, and we take the average of the 3, because what we find that sometimes when you get a bank valuation, it can come in lower than what you can actually sell it for in the marketplace, right? So we don't want that to happen, because that's obviously going to reduce everyone's profit.
Yep.
Market valuation works because if we were going to sell the land at that time, that's what people will be paying for.
And so what did you end up averaging the 3 out to?
So we averaged it out to about 300,000, which was, we could sell that land every day, day in, day out with any of the top agents that we were talking to. So that was the fair. It's when you're doing a joint venture, it's all about what's fair and equitable to all parties.
I'm just doing the numbers on what you're saying here, and this is like a 170 profit from a 1 into 2.
That's
awesome.
Look, right? I can give you a little bit more of the detailed breakdown, but you know it's pretty good profit in a short period of time.
Absolutely.
Because we were able to pull out of there in 4 months.
4 months, fantastic.
Pretty good. Happy with our very first joint venture deal. And that really was the birth of our property journey, and said, hang on, we feel confident we can do joint ventures now, because we really worked 200% in this particular deal, knowing that it's someone else's money. We really want to look after them. We really want to make sure that the project's going to run as smooth as possible. We're going to be on time, on budget, meeting expectations and more. And we did just that.
If you guys enjoyed that little snippet from the Project Profiles episode 93 with Amy Tang, you should totally click the link, listen to the entire episode, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, or just keep watching some more good content on YouTube. Maybe that one over there, or maybe it's there. I actually don't know where it is, but just keep clicking videos, guys. Have an awesome week.